I'm BugeyeBob, and I'm on a mission to resurrect this 1958 Austin Healey Mark I Sprite from this to this so it doesn't end up in this. All right, BugeyeBob here. Going to pick up on a few things and talk about some stuff that I'm doing. Going to hold off a little bit, and I'm going to explain on doing some of the repairs, and I'm going to explain why. Let's start off with where we ended up this last week with all of these tack welds that did weird things. And you'll notice they got little points sticking up, and they're not, like, they didn't want to lay down good. If you look over here, you can see that those tack welds, that they grew little points up on them and beads and kind of looked like a little snowman. So, a little bit of research. And what I found out was, so the MIG wire I've been using is ER70S-6. And a little bit of research tells me that ER70S-6 is designed for use on clean new metal. So if you're doing work in a factory making laboratory casework, using all brand new metal, that's fine. There is another wire out there, which is almost hard to get, but not quite, called ER70S-2. The ER70S-2 wire has additional, what they call deoxidizers in it, but it's a different formula. It is a little bit more expensive, but it is supposed to work better with rusty metal. Now, the issue I've got here is this thing is rusty. You can grind all you want, but at some point, when you start to weld, you're going to run into some of that rust. It's either going to be on the back where you couldn't get at to clean it off, or it's going to be you took it down as much as you could, but there was a little bit less in the grind marks or whatever. So I have ordered a roll of ER70S-2, a 2-pound roll of it, to test to see how well it works. I'll let you know. I also talked with a welding tech expert for Washington Alloys. Washington Alloys is one of the companies that actually makes this ER70S-2, and talked with him about what I was doing, and he said, well, why don't you just use silicon bronze? And I said, time out. Silicon bronze, brazing, yeah, that sounds fine, but I'm working on restoring a 1958 Austin Healey Sprite, and he says, yeah, but Chrysler, GM, all these companies, they're using silicon bronze now instead of the regular MIG wire, and the reason they're doing it is two reasons. One is you get softer welds. He called them welds, I call them brazing. He said you get softer welds out of it, and that means that you can hammer them down flat like you can a TIG weld, which means you can use your MIG wire, MIG machine, but still have welds that you can hammer down flat and grind down smooth. And apparently that wire is not as susceptible to cracking. It's a little bit more givable, a little bit more flexible. So I've also ordered a roll of that, and I will be testing that out. Hope that should come in next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. This is Thursday, so Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, hopefully it will be coming in, and I will be testing it out, and I will let you know how well it works on this rusty old metal that I'm dealing with here. I'm a little concerned because I don't know how well it will work with metal that is less than optimal. I mean, Chrysler, GM, he said they used it to put the roofs on vehicles with. That's nice, they're working with brand new metal. This isn't brand new metal. So he thinks it'll work good. I'm gonna have to check it out and see how it works. Next thing is, I have bitten the bullet. I looked around and I found that there is a company that makes a high frequency start TIG unit that is, it's not real high amperage. They claim it'll go to, I think, 120 or 140 amps, which is plenty for the stuff that you're doing in sheet metal. And it has high frequency start. It has a button on the torch or the TIG unit itself. You turn the knob to get the gas flow, but it has a button that starts the arc. But the arc is a high frequency start, which means all this bullshit of having to try to tap and lift start or doing a scratch start or any of that goes away. I've used high frequency start in the past. It just works. And I watched one of Ray Shalene's videos where he was using one of these. He is an expert and does fantastic things. But his comment was, this works for people who are not experts. And I think on one of his videos, he's even got a 9-year-old kid doing some TIG work with one. So I've ordered that, and the price for the unit, the TIG welder, and the foot pedal, because I wanted the foot pedal to go with it so that I could adjust the amperage while I'm actually welding. You know, you start out hot and then let it off as the metal heats up to keep your heat affected zone as thin as you can. So the price for all of that delivered is under $300. Now, quite frankly, if I had wanted a lift, or if I had wanted, quite frankly, if I had wanted high frequency start on the other welder that I spent $1,000 for, which I think now it's like $1,100 or $1,200, I would have had to jumped up to about a $1,500 level. So yeah, it's honestly, that's a multi-process machine. If you can get a multi-process machine that has the plasma torch, MIG, TIG, and stick, and works with flux core at under $1,000, and you're not a professional welder, you're probably in like Flint. My personal opinion of lift start and scratch start and all these other yada 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 starts that are not high frequency start, forget it. Most people are either not going to have the patience or the time to learn how to make that stuff work. I put out a video last week, I think it was, called Slaying the Lift Start Dragon. There is a way that I've learned where you can beat that thing, watch that video, and see what you learn from it. I've already had one comment come back that said, I thought this was impossible and you've made it easy to do. So, it's nice when you get good feedback like that. Now let's go back to talking about the vehicle here. I'm at the point where I need to start taking things out of here. One of the pieces I need to take out is this piece here, and I have this replacement part that will go in instead. This part goes from here on the sill, actually on the bottom side of this, inside of the sill, down into this area down here, the center. On the original vehicle, it was one solid piece from here down to there. If you're restoring one of these things, good luck on trying to put that in. So what I did was I ordered the two pieces, and they will go in about like this. one on each side, and they should meet somewhere right around here in the middle. In order to take that piece out, one of the things I have to have is I have to have some rigidity in this beast. So what I've done is I put in a tube at an angle that goes from the subframe up to the inner sill. What this is going to do is it's going to hold this all together while I cut this piece out. And the other thing I've got to do is I've got to cut this piece out from here all the way back to that brace that's going in. I've got to cut the chunk out down from here down and cut this all off and make a new piece to go in there. That means I'm going to have to cut part of this off where this is welded to the subframe to hold the vehicle steady and all together. Let's talk about these other welds up here. I haven't gone in and done anything with these yet. My plan is I'm going to grind these down and then with my new TIG welder use ER70S-2 to weld that down, and I'll probably do these welds along this part here also, so that all the way up through there is all done with TIG. That I can, the TIG weld I should be able to hammer down when it's done. If I have problems with the ER70S-2, I may just turn around and try the MIG brazing to see how that works. So that's what this is all about. We got thunderstorms going through. It's Thursday. In order to do some of this grinding and stuff and cutting that I need to do, I really need to get the car outside of the garage so that I can cut out there, put up the little canopy and fans and sweat and cut out there. I don't know if I'm going to get any more done this week than what I've just, then basically just, I don't know if I'm going to get any more work actually done this week. The new welder is supposed to come in on Saturday. I want to have probably 2 or 3 days of learning that welder before I get into doing anything serious. The new MIG wires are supposed to be in Tuesday and maybe Wednesday of next week, hopefully. I don't know, they're saying somewhere between the 17th and the 20th, so Monday's the 16th, so it should be sometime next week that they come in. But I want to have a chance to test those out and see how those do. And I also have a 025 roller coming that I'm going to see if it will work on my old welder, because I've got some 025 MIG wire, and people have, what I've read, have suggested that running the 025, because you get a smaller heat affected zone with that, that may also give you a softer weld that you can hammer down and manipulate a lot better than you can the 030 that I've been using. So we'll just have to see how it goes. In order to fix the piece here, I don't want to go back that way. There we go. In order to fix this piece that's right in here, I've got to cut out these spot welds and cut that piece out. To replace this piece, I've got to cut out all of these spot welds. And I am going to cut them out all the way down to here and all the way back to the way back there, back. And what I've done so far is I've taken a 1/8 inch drill and drilled a starter hole because this little bit works better if it has a starter hole. And if this one doesn't work to my satisfaction, then I will switch over and use one of these bits. Now, I don't like them because they cut fairly large holes and they're kind of hard to control, but they do cut holes, so that's what's going to happen. And actually, to be honest with you, since this is being replaced, all this is floor pan is being replaced, and the holes, the pieces that I'm cutting through are being replaced, even using one of these, you know what, I might just as well use that because it'll just pop the holes out faster. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I listen for the change in pitch, and that usually indicates that I've either cut through or I'm close to cut through. Sometimes you'll see a puff of rusty material come out too. All right, I have drilled out all of these holes. The ones that I drilled out with a small drill, because both the floor pan, this is part of the floor pan, and the braces and some other things need to be replaced. I said to hell with it and re-drilled most of these holes out again with a big drill, because the big drill covered the whole spot well. The little drill left some places that hung up. So now we're at the point of taking this final piece off. Got a little bit of a hang up down there, but that should be no problem. There we go. And there's that piece out of there. Now, add that to my scrap metal bin. Let's get up close and personal with this thing, and we'll talk about some things that I found. Coming down through here, this is the one brace. This is going to have to be cut in half right there, and the new brace is going to go in as two pieces. These are where the bolts run up through to bolt the bolt the transmission in. That's what I'm looking to say. Let's come back this way. This is a tunnel, and I'm going to have to replace about the bottom 1.5 inches of each side of this because it's rotted out. This piece right here is where that piece and this piece are where the handbrake bolt on. This was welded to the floor pan. And let's continue to the back, because the floor pan right here is welded on the inside of the transmission tunnel along here. So that's gonna have to be cut out. And after this brace gets put in and this other part gets fixed, then we can worry about replacing this back piece here. This piece here, there's 1, 2, There's two of those. Those seem to be in good enough shape. I can just clean them up and reuse them. There might be, yeah, that's it. I've got new pieces that go here, and then the braces that go from here forward I've got. So lots and lots of work to do. Like I said, I probably would have gone with just keeping with the smaller spot welds cutter, but all of these pieces are being, well, this isn't being replaced, but the bottom couple of inches of it is, from like right here back, and that actually runs all the way back into the tunnel itself, or into the, yeah, that runs all the way back. The tunnel runs all the way back. Drive shaft tunnel runs all the way back right there. There was a bit of crap inside of the drive shaft tunnel. I tried to get as much of it out as I could using the pressure washer. You can't get it all out. So I'm going to have to vacuum this out in here. But we're at the point now where I can make my big cut through here, cut this loose from the drive shaft tunnel, cut this side of this piece out and fix it, and carry on from there. So that will be in a week or two. And thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Join up on Patreon if you'd like to support this project. Love to have supporters. YouTube doesn't pay a dime to small creators like myself. You get to where you've got 100,000, 200,000 viewers, yeah, they'll put some money in your pocket. But us small creators get nothing. So when you see an ad on YouTube on my videos, remember, not a dime of that comes to me. It's the same with any other small video makers. So we're basically community support at that time. Again, thank you very much. Y'all have a blessed day. Over and out. Well, folks, that's it for this episode of BugeyeBob. I really appreciate you watching and hope that, like me, you've learned a few things to do, or maybe not to do, in this episode. Please like and comment on this video, as it encourages YouTube to share it with others and helps grow the channel. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell to get notified when new videos are released. If you'd like to support this channel and save Lazarus from the recycle furnace, you can now make a one-time or recurring donation through PayPal. You can also support this restoration project by becoming a member at patreon.com/BugeyeBob. Patreon members get early access to the videos, and in the future will enjoy question and answer sessions and live streams. As this channel grows, future Patreon member benefits will include bonus or extended videos, member names in the credits, and the ability to suggest topics for future videos. You can follow this BugeyeBob restoration on YouTube and Facebook. You'll find the links in the description below for PayPal, Patreon, YouTube, and Facebook. Once again, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and supporting this channel.